we go. Desktop audio, we'll take it from here. Hopefully, we're back now. There we go. I think we've been found now. Apologies for the delay, we had a bit of a problem, and one of the Alpines has retired, just as we joined back. That might have been a bit of ill fate, but we are here now. Oh, that is a bit of an annoying one, although we do have no game audio, of course there isn't. We'll ride on board with sound still for the moment while we fix these issues. Just nicely through there, but he's got a couple Aston Martins in front of him. We will adjust the game audio in a second. That is a good banker lap for him. I'm hoping we start to get some game audio through now. Uh, let's have a look. It appears that we can hear it. Hopefully we can be heard as well. Oh, Sana still doesn't manage to get the car quite turned in through turn 1, and seems to be parking up. Oh no, just making way for someone. A bit of an odd place to do it, but nevertheless he keeps out the way nicely. Moves out of the way for the McLaren, or sorry, the Alpine of Kosev. His teammates out, so Alpine's hopes are going to be relying on him for this qualifying session, with Unfi, who's going to have to claw his way back up through the field. He'll be down in last after people have set their laps, but he does bail out of it. He is. He's done a 1:17.9. That is a very rapid lap. I think Kiziel's time is now looking not looking the strongest, and I think he's going to really want to improve on that before we get into the lobby. Let's hope so. We can't hear Luke. That is a mystery of this season that we've had throughout the end of Tier 3. Always happens to Luke. We can't hear you. Always you. Yep, it's annoying, but we'll hopefully fix that now. Oh no! There's another driver. That's a shame. I don't suppose anyone on stream can hear Luke. Don't think they can. That is annoying. So this qualifying session is not doing too well at the moment. I'm just gonna try and bring you through onto stream, Luke. Bear with us for 2 moments. Send us your voice, Luke. Can we be heard? Can you be heard? Have we got you now? Or are we still struggling on that department? No, Luke. Ah, this is going brilliantly. Let's... No, it surely can't be that problematic. Discord audio, desktop audio. Let's try that. Brilliant stuff. Give yourself a try now, Luke. Let's hope we can get you through. Nothing. Oh, Nelly. Um,
Discord audio.
they might have you
Yeah.
now. I think something's come through.
Testing.
I believe we found Luke. I can
Oh,
see all
just
of.
as I
We've got
joined.
him. Brilliant. See, that's the good fortune of Will.
I used to do streaming, so I should know how to set up a soundboard.
Let's hope so. Now we can
Right,
actually get on with qualifying.
I'll let you two get back to it.
Thank you very much for rejoining as well.
Thank you, Will. And apparently
All
Luke
right, so
is very loud.
the first place is a solid 3 tenths ahead of everyone else, and then Rasmussen in P2 with a 18.2.
An 18-2.
Lechenstam in P3 and Monk in P4.
Yeah, Skalski leads with a decent margin. That's almost 3/10 there. Sana's still unfortunately invalidated on his lap. He's one of the only drivers out there at the moment. If we take a look at Rosu, however, they're currently on a lap. We'll ride on board with them. Luke, if you want to walk us through Rosu's lap, that would be brilliant. As he goes purple sector 1, in fact, but has invalidated. That's not going to do much for him with only 8.5 minutes left of this session, really.
I did notice a Merc had spun on his outlap.
It might have been Monk who's just started a lap.
I think it was McWilliams.
That's not going to do his tyres any good. But
So Monk coming into turn 3.
Doing quite
And
well.
now the tricky turn 4. Easy to run wide there if you're not careful.
Gets a small snap through turn 4 as well. But didn't seem to hurt his time very much. 3/10 up on his time through that first sector. He manages to hold it through that tricky turn, which is easy to invalidate on.
If he can keep this time up, he should be looking at a net P1, which will make me a very happy boy.
Sure it will. Merc buys team principles, so we'll be hoping he does improve for your sake. But Skalski,
He does have traffic coming up ahead.
he's got a Williams there, he's got a Ferrari in front of him. Let's hope he can navigate through it. The Ferrari does manage to dive out of the way. That shouldn't have hurt his lap time too much.
Final 3 corners coming up. Most common one to lose your back end in the last corner if you over rev it. So let's see how can he set up a new faster slap for everyone else to compete with. If he comes out looking clean, doesn't run it that wide, and it's just a race to the line.
And he's on track, and he does go onto pole for the moment, provisional pole position by a decent margin, just over 2/10. So I'm sure he'll be happy with that. But with a bit of track evolution, I'm sure
Rasmussen is on a faster lap. He's already 1/10 up on his last time as well, so he's looking to put a more competitive time in here. But he gets a snap of oversteer.
we've lost Kister from this session as well. That's unfortunate for him. So he's going to have to climb his way back through the field. If we run on board with Skalski, he's just finishing his outlap. I'm sure he'll be wanting to reclaim that provisional pole position. Navigates past that stranded rebel of Kister, and as he starts his lap, we'll ride on board with him. Hopefully he can provide us with an interesting fight for pole position. As he opens up the DRS, going down to turn 3, let's hope he can get it hooked up, especially through the tricky turn 4 without shedding too much time. He has a little bit of a lock-up, unless that's the fabled game glitch. Nicely through turn 4.
What? Skalski on a lap just got ballsed out the way by someone behind him.
I haven't seen that. We're riding on board with Skalski. Skalski is he's set purple sector 1.
I've desynced.
That might explain it. So we will continue riding on board with Skalski. He's on for a good lap at the moment as he comes through the fast left-right. Very close to track limits there. Comes down with the DRS flat wide open, comes into this tricky braking corner with a weird raised curb that really throws the car off. He manages to keep it nicely steady through there, however. Runs it a bit wide there on the very edge of track limits once more. He's really pushing through this lap. Can he make it through this tricky turn nicely? He seems to have done it. He leaves a bit of curb on the outside, so didn't use all the track space. He comes up to the line, and he does go on to provisional pole once more. by another 2/10, so it's Monk and Skowski in the fight with each other right now as he sets a 1:17.5 with Monk 2/10 behind in a 1:17.7. Rasmussen, there's a pretty big gap to P3. He's got a 1:18.2, so I'm sure the
So
team principal.
Rasmussen on his lap, he managed to lose the car coming in just before the final corner, and he had to pull out of his lap.
Oh, that is a bit of a shame for him, but I'm sure if he gets out in time, he'll manage to improve. We've just lost Kosev from the session. He was down in P11, so I'm sure he's going to be a bit disappointed with himself in his qualifying session there.
Looks like he lost it in turn 1 exit.
Yeah, he did. He's lost it onto that corner just there. I think Skowski's on his in lap now. Vlad Rosu, the new Aston Martin driver. We've got a fair few drivers making their Amethyst Racing debuts today. He is just beginning his lap, so we'll ride on board with him. How does he navigate through the tricky turn 4? He manages to get through there nicely, so we'll see how the rest of this lap looks up. This corner can be tricky. You might want to touch that inside curve for a small bit of extra rotation. He's 4/10 up on his time right now, so it's looking good if he can hold it together. He does. He gets a nice run onto this long straight, the new reprofiled straight, approaching that tricky left-right. He goes purple sector 2 as well, as on his way. Manages to get it through there nicely, opens up the DRS. We'll ride on board with him again as he comes down into this tricky braking zone. He does get the car slowed down just in time. Takes that corner nicely, uses a bit of the outside curb. As he comes into the penultimate corner, the new extended corner, he gets through there nicely, uses all of the track, but decides to bail out the lap, which is strange. He seemed to be on for a good lap, but decides otherwise and comes into the pit lane. So we'll see who else is on lap. I think Rasmussen is on his out lap. He's going to try and improve from that P3 position if he can. Who else have we got? Luke, I don't know how decent you are, but hopefully we get you back in time for the race. Simon Sanderstill has just begun his lap, a bit wide through turn 1. We've got a yellow flag for some cars slowing down. Simon Sanderstill was strong last season, had some good performances, a couple of crashes that didn't put him in contention for the driver's title, but I'm sure he'll be looking to improve on his standings from last season. He goes nicely through sector 1, approaching sector 2 and runs a bit wide there. That's going to be unfortunate, that's really going to damage his lap time, but he's still 4.5 tenths up, so he gets it nicely through that corner. He's going to have a long run down with a good exit. Let's see if he can make the best out of this situation after running wide in sector 1. I think he'll be wanting to improve quite a bit from that P10 he's sat in right now. Through this fast left-right, goes a tad wide, but takes the inside curb nicely, doesn't lose any rear stability. Comes down into the braking zone at a very fast speed, takes that curb on the inside. A lot of drivers have a different preference around this track over whether to take that or not, considering it can cost you a lot of time if you take it wrong. Runs a bit wide out of the penultimate corner, but he gets it hooked up for the last corner onto the main straight, opens up the DRS flap. And as he approaches the line, it's going to be a 1:19.3. That's going to improve his position by 1 spot, and he goes 3 thousandths ahead of Jack King, but I'm sure he'll be a bit disappointed with that lap. Jack King doesn't seem to be improving as of now. Luke Matthews, I believe, also made another one making their Amethyst debut. He is out on lap once more. He'll want to be improving from that 13th position with a 1:32.6. Hopefully can link up a good lap. Using all of the track space through turn 13. He is just under a tenth up through sector 1. Rasmussen, actually, has improved onto provisional pole position. So that Team PT principal Max Housley is going to be very happy with that right now, as he just goes a tenth, just about a tenth and a bit faster than Skowski behind him. But Skowski is on lap once again. We'll ride on board with him. These two seem to be vying for pole. This will be his last lap to see if he can improve. We didn't see him improve through sector 1, but maybe he did. We'll see how he does through this lap. These two seem to be in contention for pole position at the moment. He sets a purple sector 2 as he does so. So he's on a good course to take pole away from Rasmussen. We'll watch him as he travels through sector 3. Nicely navigates that corner. Doesn't take that inside curb, the outside curb. However, into the penultimate corner. Links that section up quite nicely. Just the last tricky corner to navigate now with difficult throttle inputs. Opens up the DRS. He's going to travel rapidly down towards the start-finish line, and he is not going to improve that sector 3. Let him down slightly. So it's looking like Rasmussen is going to be on pole unless anyone can displace him. Skalski, I don't believe, did manage to get another lap in. Axel Lurgiston unable to improve on his position. Patrick Kiziel, the championship winner from season 3, will be looking to improve his P6 at the moment. Opens up the DRS. What's his lap time going to be looking like? He doesn't manage to improve, it's only P6. So now Skalski has one more chance as he comes through sector 2 to improve on his time and displace Rasmussen from pole. Let's see if he can through sector 2. Doesn't look like he's taken purple this time. Let's hope he can link up his sector 3 a bit nicer. Uses a bit more curb this time. Wants to find time anywhere he can. He just needs a tenth and a bit to displace Rasmussen from pole and upset the house party at the moment. But he bails out of it. So that is going to be Rasmussen on pole position for the season 4 Tier 2 opener around Australia. That was a storming lap from him. Skalski close behind him, followed by Alfred Monk, Vlad Rossu, Axel Lurgiston and Patrick Kiziel.
Jolly, are you able... I can see the mediums to softs was proven to be the more optimal strategy in Tier 1.
Yeah, with the safety cars and VSCs, the tyre wear is a lot lower.
Yeah. Will be interesting though, because this is Tier 2, accidents were more prone to happen last season.
We did see it, but I think yesterday, Tier 1, I think we had a fair few safety cars and incidents, and
We did.
we never know. It might be a lot cleaner over here.
Also, I recommend not using the broadcast safety car ever. It is the most buggiest thing. Oh, we're about to get racing.
We are 5 lights out and a glitched. Away we go. Rasmussen gets away nicely. He's pulled away from Skalski, but he is going to...
One of the cars isn't moving.
Try a move. He isn't... Oh no, Skalski and Vlad Rossu have had a contact in turn 1. That's allowed a lot of drivers to get past. Rasmussen maintains his lead now as a 1.5 second lead over Axel Lurgistam. Let's have a look at where people have gone. Simon Sandersill's up 6 positions from P3. Axel Lurgistam is up 3 positions.
Oh, someone's lost their whole front wing.
Somebody
in the back there.
has, and we have an immediate virtual safety car, I believe. We do.
We
So
do indeed.
Rasmussen has gained the ideal getaway. He's got almost a 2-second lead to Lurgistam, who's made up a nice amount of positions from P5 on the grid, with Sander still behind him, but he's got Monk all over the back of him. Monk has lost a position from P3. Unfortunately, we had that contact before with Vlad Rossu collecting Luke Matthews. So the two of them will be looking to recover their race. We'll
Trying to work out who it was who lost their front wing. It was one of the Williams.
I believe it could have been Manuel Binder. It is. He's driving around the circuit and hasn't got a front wing. He's going to dive into the pit lane. He does choose to. He's followed in by Skalski. Skalski, he was a P2, wasn't he? He's had an unfortunate go of it, but as we get racing again, Monk has dropped off the back of Kiziel, but Lurgistam has managed to find about 9/10 in this restart onto Rasmussen. He's going to want to be getting into that DRS zone, try and put him under some pressure, force him into a mistake and get past. Sandersteel. Oh, Monk already picking up a 3-second penalty for multiple track limit warnings. That is very early on.
There is a bug. There is a bug at the moment for that, where you can pick up multiple track warnings for one corner.
Oh wow.
Because that would be why Kosev also has one, and he got that on lap 1. It's turn 4 around here. Is a common one where you can get 4 to 6 warnings without an issue.
Oh, that is quite interesting. Lurgiston is back into his DRS now as well, so he's within that 1 second range. So once we have 2 laps of racing, he'll have the DRS if he can stick within that 1 second gap.
Monk has dropped Kiziel, and he's right on the rear of Sandon still, and he's run wide.
Oh no, there is a collision at the
Oh.
back. Kosev looks to have been spun round, and he's in the gravel. He's going to lose a lot of positions here. He's going to want to be careful getting back onto the track. And is he beached in the gravel? He is beached in the gravel. That is disaster
And he's reset.
for him. That is understandable,
He
but
has
I
reset.
think he's going to get a penalty for that. Kiziel, 5 second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. It is happening everywhere up and down the grid. Kosev is still spinning at the back. He's struggling on those overheating tyres now.
Kiziel
McWilliams.
had damage. Kiziel's had wing damage.
Oh, okay. So he's gone in and replaced his wing. He's gone onto the hard tyres. Williams opting for the softs, quite strangely. But Rasmussen out front, he's managing quite well to keep Lurgiston just on the edge of his DRS range, give himself a small safety barrier. Will Lightning mentioning that the Tier 2 champ is struggling. Kiziel's down in P13. He's out of the points already. He didn't have the best, or he didn't have the strongest qualifying, but the new handling model in this game is catching quite a few drivers out. But I think Lurgiston is now properly gaining on the back of Rasmussen. We'll ride on board with him, especially when DRS gets opened. I'm sure he'll be wanting to make moves. Go on, Kister, says Lightning. He's up into P7, so he's made up a fair few positions off that start.
Kiziel is running alongside with Uhi and also Rosu.
Rosu and
They both go
Kister.
around the outside of that corner.
Yeah, Rosu manages to get ahead of him. Kister losing a couple positions within the space of a couple corners. Axel Lurgiston now sets the fastest lap of the race at 1:21.9, so he's closing onto the back of Rasmussen.
Are open. The DRS flaps are open. Monk is right behind Sander still.
That is interesting. Look at the 2 Red Bulls. Do you think they're going to have maybe some team orders? Try and see if one of them's faster and can get ahead. I'm sure Matulic will be looking to make up some time.
Monk did pass Sander still into turn 3 around the outside as well.
That is
And
true.
he picks up another 3-second penalty.
Really, that is a quite odd. He doesn't want to be collecting too many of these because the penalties, we remember from the Tier 1 race, they had quite a big impact on finishing positions.
Oh, it really did.
But now the drivers are starting to thin out. Kister goes wide. Is that some team orders? They have inverted the cars there at Red Bull, but that's going to leave them under threat from Luke Matthews, the Williams driver. Kister's defending with all his life to try and give his teammate Matulic some protection, but he manages to get past into the fast left-right. So now he's in a Red Bull sandwich, and he'll hope to try and to maintain that P9. Kister will hope to try and stay on the back of him, but they are going to go side by side. Matthews decides to bail out of that one.
Oh, he got a better exit.
He did. Rosu is now all over the back of Ula, who's all over the back of Unfi. Gonna form a train, but Rosu gets much better traction out of that final corner. He's gonna have an attack now, and they have ghosted into one another. That is quite strange. Not too sure why we've had that happen. Ghosting is off. Bit of a glitch maybe, but Luke Matthews gets through Matulic as well.
Oh, they're 3 wide for a second.
That
They
is
were 3
interesting.
wide
Is
for a
that
second.
with Ula, Rosu, and Unfi?
Yeah, it was.
Seems to be that is strange.
Kiziel still the way in 14th now. Skowski up into 13th. McWilliams in 12th. Lurgiston is closing in on Rasmussen.
The DRS assistant being in that slipstream is really helping him. So he's going to make a dive. No, he's a bit too far back this time, but I imagine he'll want to try it on the next main straight. He's close enough, and he seems to be thriving on that medium tyre now. It's come into a good operating window. Needs a good exit out of this.
It may have been called by desync, by the way.
That is a likely explanation and is unfortunate, but we do have contact at the back. Is that Vlad Rosu has been spun round.
We've got a safety car.
By contact your safety car. Wow, that's interesting. And these drivers have just come past the pit lane, so a couple of them are going to dive in. That's Jack King and Unfi already making a stop.
going to really shake it up here. It's going to really absolutely shake this up because people are on completely different strategies now.
They are. So that means Legistum is also going to be able to close right up to the back of Rasmussen. McWilliams picking up a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane, which is isn't going to do his race much good. I'd like to take a look at the penalties. So Monk already with 6 seconds of track limit warnings. We don't know if any of them will get removed. Luke Matthews up into P9 has a 3-second penalty. But Kiziel, Williams and Kosev do all have quite a few penalties. Kiziel's now served his in the pit lane, so he is penalty free, but the tier 2 season 3 champ is been struggling quite a bit. Gooby the Doge saying that Kosev might as well retire. He is 40 seconds back from the pack, but I think as long as he can, as long as he's not lapped.
He's about to get lapped here. He's the one who brought out the safety car with another new front wing. That's his second, I think. He's becoming a very expensive car out on the track. And he's been lapped.
That is an unfortunate shame for the Alpine driver. I don't think he didn't have too bad of a qualifying, did he? If we look at the position change, no, he's down 5 positions, but I mean, Ula in the Alfa Romeo is up 11 positions. I don't think he's stopped yet, but he
didn't have a very good start. He did stall on the grid as well, and then he's pulled it right back.
I was going to say, was he the one stopped on the grid who didn't go anywhere for about half a lap?
Yeah.
So that is a brilliant recovery from him so far.
Possibly tactical to avoid all of the chaos that happened in front of him as well.
It might have been, especially not trying to not get held up in the pit lane is also important.
So Kosev is now a lap down. It's going to be very hard to get back into any sort of position because he's going to get blue flagged right on the start.
He is, unless he can make some moves and hope for another safety car in a good time, then his race is unfortunately going to be almost irreparably damaged here. But I'm interested to see if Monk tries a move, because I mean he has been quite fast. He's picked up a few penalties, but Rasmussen I think is going to be a bit vulnerable on this safety car restart.
Lurgiston will be the most upset about the safety car because he was reeling in.
I think he would. He had a good gap to Monk as well, didn't he?
Yeah.
So that's his time gain on Monk completely thrown out the window now. So I think maybe a bit annoyed, but at the same time it gives him another stab at Rasmussen. I think these two are gonna have a decent fight with each other.
The big gainer from this would probably be Kiziel. Kiziel was really far back off the pack.
He was. Yeah, I mean
I heard he isn't liking the new car.
He's still half a lap behind. I have heard that as well. He's not managed to get to grips as much as he'd liked with the new handling model. So I'm sure he'll hopefully use this race as a bit of a learning curve and come back in Miami a bit stronger. So I think the top 3, if not 4, Simon Sanderstill does always have pace in him. Just got to keep it consistent. I think everyone here is in for a decent stab. Monk is unfortunate with those time penalties he's racked up. But I think once a safety car goes in, especially with strategy considering a few people are boxed now, it's going to be quite an interesting strategic race and on-track battles happening for the last 20 laps. But as you can see, Kiziel was really far behind. I mean, he's only just catching up to the pack. There he is. Travelling through sector 1. Just reaches the back of the pack now, so I think we'll have safety car in this lap. Oh, we've switched into broadcast mode.
You have left it on broadcast.
I didn't put it on broadcast. I was switching myself.
You put safety car on.
It was on immersive.
Safety car on broadcast. No, safety car's on broadcast.
It was on immersive. It did this in the
It did.
It did this in the tier 3 pre-season race. Connor and I were sitting there, and it suddenly switched from this to the weirdest broadcast mode.
I,
th
you
this
might
is
have to double check to make sure that it isn't next time, because this is broadcast mode.
no, it was on immersive. I put it on immersive. This is a bit of an annoying thing, but I think we are. Are we live on board now?
Not yet.
We're not. Uh, my controls have completely locked up.
Yep, because it's broadcast mode.
Oh no, I've got it back. There we go. It's come out of it. I knew it was on immersive. So
We
Rasmussen,
didn't have this on Friday though.
we didn't. I'm not too sure why that happened. Rasmussen is really backing up the pack here, isn't he? He's going to want to get away really quickly. Lurgiston is going to want to follow him, but he doesn't get the best restart. We are lagging a slight bit.
Ooh, Radisson got a kick of his back end just flung out on the start.
He did.
Lurgiston is all
Kosev
over him.
retires. Lurgiston decides not to go for a move into turn 1, but does get a much better exit. I think he's going to have another go at him now with the use of a bit of ERS. Jack King picks up a 3-second penalty on the restart. That's not going to do his race any good. But Lurgiston is going to be forced around the outside. Nice defending from Rasmussen, wanting to keep this P1 position. So he's maintained it so far, but he's got Lurgiston all over the back of him. Monk is dropping off just a tad.
Monk's on very wide there as well.
He has. We'll see if Lurgiston's going to try and move maybe on this next straight into the left-right. And look how close he is to the back of that Haas. He's already alongside and he's pulling around. And he's passed him. Rasmussen is down into P2 now. And they got past him very early there. So now
Rasmussen could try and fight back.
Now Lurgiston
He's
leads.
got the pace.
I think Rasmussen did have the pace. I think these two were quite matched. So I'd like to see him come back at him. Monk is also closing up. They're about 3/10 away from each other. This top three. So here we go. I think he'll have another stab at him onto that main straight. Although that last corner following is very difficult in the dirty air. We've got a yellow flag in sector 3. Is that Kister and Kizio? It is.
Kizio and Kister.
It is. The season 3 champion is not doing too well. Lurgiston got a nice exit out of the last corner and has managed to maintain that lead along the main straight.
3 are starting to drop Simon Standerstill just slightly.
They are, but if they start fighting, I'm sure he'll be right back into the mix. So now, Lurgiston, oh, he gets a small snap as he rides the curb at turn 4, a bit too much. But Rasmussen, he's dropping off slightly from the back of Rasmussen. Have we got any other fights? Max Housley saying that Kister didn't brake, which was the cause of their accident. If we can, we'll review that a bit later. But Monk is now on the back of Rasmussen, who's fallen away from the back of Lurgiston just a tad. Another yellow flag. That is Skalski who's been spun around. Have a look at the tyres. Couple hard runners. Have you got any on-track action for us to take a look at, Luke?
Not yet, but we should probably be looking at Standerstill having to defend from both Jack King and from Uhi.
Oh yeah, but they had a fight. They had a bit of a scrap in that penultimate corner. DRS is enabled now. So Standerstill has actually fallen off the back of the top 3. They don't have DRS this time round, but they will on the next DRS straight. So it's a bit of a three-way battle.
Into the pits. I wonder if Skalski's damage may have been caused by Umfrey, who has just had a wing replacement, a front wing on Umfrey.
That is intriguing. Rasmussen, he's going to really want to keep within that 1 second mark, otherwise he's going to be in a bit of trouble and under threat from Alfred Monk behind him.
Lurgiston's pace has been really good this whole race. He's just
banged in some consistent
faster.
laps. He has, yeah. And he's managed not to pick up any penalties just as of yet.
Looked a little bit wobbly going through that fast right turn though.
It did, pushing really hard. I think Lurgiston would like that safety net of having a 1 second gap with no DRS threat.
Further back, the Alfa Romeo is all over the back of Standerstill right now. Like, almost
He
touching.
really is. And Luke Matthews is getting racy with Jack King and the Aston Martin behind this as well. So we're right on board with these guys for a bit. Oh, Sanderson dives into the pits. That is a bit of a shame. But now I think Jack King is going to have the DRS on Ula.
Ula will have DRS because they
Oh,
would
he
have been in the
does, doesn't
DRS
he?
zone there.
Well, yeah. So a couple of drivers now boxing. Who else have we got fighting? A lot of drivers opting for the hards at this point. I think the mediums might have been able to stick it out. Somebody saying that Lurgiston is desynced and it's pretty hard to overtake. That is not ideal. But oh yeah, I think we're catching a bit of that as well. Are you?
Yes, he's a little bit all over the place.
Yeah, that's going to make overtaking ever more difficult. He's gaining time from disconnecting it. Well, that is interesting because he's nearly at that 1 second mark. Alfred Monk is also falling off the back of Rasmussen, but he's hovering around 6/10 now.
It might be something that has to be looked into in the future if that is the case.
Ratcliffe saying classic. Yep, Blurgiston hasn't had the best internet, especially last season as well. I think we faced a couple of those issues.
Codemasters, or was it Lurgiston himself?
I think it was a bit of both in a lot of instances. But
It probably makes defending him hard too because you don't know where he is.
yeah. But
But
Kister, he's
Monk,
fallen as well. Monk has lost the DRS. In fact, you're right.
it will leave Rasmussen free to attack now.
Yeah, he's not got to worry about the threat from behind him.
Further down, Jack King is hot in pursuit of Uhi, who has the Williams of... What is it? Oh, he hasn't given me his name yet. I don't know who it is.
Who? Oh, we got a yellow
check out.
flag.
It's
That-
Kister.
Kister spun round. He's going to want to spin himself the right way round and not go too far backwards. The grid has sort of started to spread out now. I think we've got Jack King and Ula. They're still racing each other along. He's in the DRS, but a bit too far back for a move this time. Luke Matthews is still on the back of Jack King as well. After a bit of a poor qualifying from him, he's making up for it in race pace.
The team seems to have a really good sector 3.
Who is that?
Really strong. Rasmussen has
Rasmussen.
a really strong sector 3.
He does, and he's quite a bit closer now to Lurgiston. I think if he can get a good run through sector 1 and sector 2, I think he'll be on to try and make a move.
But you can really see the desync
no.
of
Yeah, I mean Monk
that is not good.
Monk is just picking up penalties a lot faster than he needs. So
But you can really see Lurgiston's desync when you ride on board with Rasmussen.
yeah, we're on board with him now. I think in the straights it's not too bad. And I think Rasmussen, especially through that left-right chicane through sector 2, I think he's got the setup to carry a lot more speed through there.
Oh, for sure. But in sector 1, Lurgiston's desync is very apparent.
Yeah, that's gonna make him struggle. But Unfi now picks up.
Picking up 3 seconds.
Yeah, but I think a lot of drivers behind will be boosted a position because Monk now has a
9 seconds at the moment.
Jack King has picked up 8 seconds. I imagine that's 1 from speeding in the pit lane. Rasmussen still seems a bit too far away to be able to make a move now. Further back, we've got Luke Matthews. Oh, he gets a bit out of shape through turn 1, and that's going to lose him a couple of tenths on the back of Jack King, who he'd like to probably get past at this point. If we take a look at tyres, we'll be able to see the different strategies.
Oh, that was horrible desync. I'm still riding on board with Rasmussen. It's really hard to gauge where Lurgiston actually is.
That sounds bit treacherous. But it's worth noting that the positions 1 to 4 haven't actually boxed. So they are going to have to come into the pits at some point. I imagine they'll call it around lap 20 and maybe go on a last stint on the softs.
That would be the strategy after watching Tier 1.
Yeah, they will be rapid, but they aren't. The grid isn't actually that spread out. If they do box, they are going to come out around P10, P10. A pit lane, and especially depending on if you can get the pit turn in optimal, it is going to be difficult for them to make up nearly 9 positions. Rasmussen now regaining on Lurgistan. I think he's going to have to wait for him to make a mistake, otherwise he can't catch him in the straights or through sector 1. Luke Matthews making a bit of an error and misjudgment through turn 1. Now at risk of losing the DRS, and he has. They've started to spread out now, so Jack King slightly falling off the back of Ula.
Matthews has fallen off the back of Jack King, and Russo has fallen off the back of Matthews as well.
Yeah.
Our P2 qualifier is currently down in 10th as well. That first lap incident really hasn't helped him.
Yeah, Skalski had an unfortunate turn 1, caught up in an incident, so he's trying to recover, and I think he'll be hoping to make up a few positions once the pit stops happen.
What tyres is Skalski on? He's on hards. He possibly could take them hard to the end. I'm not 100% certain, but there is a chance.
Skalski, he's been on those hards for 15 laps. I think he could try, but at the same time they're going to be really slow.
He's got 10 seconds between Sanders still behind him, and the pit lane here is about 20 seconds, give or take.
Yeah, so if they come out on softs right behind him, I think he's not going to stand a very good chance of defending.
He'd have to make up 10 seconds from when he pits, so it'll be close, I reckon.
He would, but that's if he opts to pit. I think he doesn't have to. He's changed his tyres over. We do have a yellow flag in sector 3. Looks like Sandersteel and what was that?
Oh, Humphrey did just make contact with McWilliams coming into the second to last corner. Bumped him a little bit wide. They are racing right alongside each other down into turn 1 right now. And the Alpine will get the DRS on the Merc here.
Yeah, McWilliams is keeping it strong, but Matthews is really close to the back of Jack King now, and Jack King doesn't have any DRS, so I think he's actually going to size up a move here. Got a yellow flag, but Luke Matthews is going to try around the outside. Not late enough on the brakes, however. Oh no, Jack King went off track.
Went really wide.
Broke way too late. Jack King went off track, and he's just lost 2 positions in the space of 1 corner. That's not going to help his race.
Not at all. He misjudged the braking by the looks of it, and Matthews just cut underneath him.
Yeah, he's judged it. He's judged it very well, and he's been waiting to get past those 2 Aston Martins all weekend, all day, all race. Sorry. But Rasmussen is now a lot closer to the back of Lurgistan. So I think he'll be wanting to make a move in the DRS. We know he's a bit stronger through sectors 2 and 3. So we'll wait to see if he can stick with him and then make a move on the DRS straight. He'll have the slipstream all the way down here. As you can see, Lurgistan is desyncing, so it's going to be a bit more difficult for him. You get a yellow flag.
With a yellow flag, McWilliams has spun on the start-finish line. He was right behind Humphrey.
Yeah, I think Lurgistan is just running really low downforce setup, so Rasmussen's not really able to catch up to him in the straight line.
Matthews has now picked up 3 seconds worth of penalties.
He has. We'll take a look at the penalty boards. Oh, Rasmussen bots, so he's going to try the undercut here. We'll actually have a look to see where he comes out of the pit stops.
10 laps on the soft, so he's cutting it awfully close.
It is, but they will go the distance. There's a nice pit stop from him, so he's going to drop behind all those hard runners, and he's going to hope to undercut Lurgistam in front of him. I think at this point he's willing to try anything. He's only come out in 7th actually, so he's managed to reduce that that pit stop deficit. And we'll see if he can get those tyres warmed up, which we know on this new game is a bit of a peril task. Then I'll have a good stab at getting Lurgistam on the when he pits.
In the undercut, and the good thing about it, if he does get him warmed up, is that he will then Lurgiston will be on the cold tyres when he'll have heated up tyres.
He will, yeah. So this is going to be interesting to see.
Lurgiston just set a purple sector 2 though. He's
so he is pushing.
Now.
He's going to drain his ERS and try and manage to get the overcut done.
Monk as well pushing by the looks of it. I think they're both looking to box this lap would be the ideal situation.
Now Rasmussen goes purple sector 2, so he is really pushing on those softs. They've warmed up nicely for him. So if we go to Lurgistam, he is in the pit lane now.
Monk
doesn't get a
also in the
5-second.
pit lane.
Monk in the pit lane as well. So we'll see how his pit stop is. If we ride on board with Rasmussen, we got a DNF. Luke Matthews, he's retired. Is that going to be a safety car? It is. It's a safety car.
This is huge.
Does Lurgistam get out ahead of him? He has.
Gets out, he's behind the safety car though. He's right behind the safety car.
But he's going to get.
People...
Oh no, Rasmussen. That's his luck. Just.
No, this is huge for
Ula, Rosa, and
King.
Jack King. They're in front.
They can gap the safety car. They can gap the safety car. Lurgiston, oh, they're being let past the safety car. They're being let past the safety car.
So that is gonna spice things up. I think Rasmussen's gonna be kicking himself that he went for that undercut, which is unfortunate. It hasn't paid off for him.
It really is.
So
all the way straight to go.
It now looks up for Ula, who's done 20 laps on those mediums, and Vlad Rossi. The two Aston Martins are looking very nice for this race as well. Yeah, this is heated up. So I think under the safety car, it's the deficit is halved, isn't it? So we'll have them come out around. Do you think they come out around P5, P6 maybe?
It's going to be very close.
Oh, but at the same time, they don't have to obey the delta coming out of the pit lane, do they? So
no.
Might be able to snag a cheeky overtake. So in they come. The two Aston Martins, however,
back into the pits. Lurgiston's gone back into the pits.
He's going to try and replace those softs. So is Rasmussen now going to? Rasmussen's going to take the lead, but he's going to have Ulo serving a penalty. Not going to help him. And has he been?
No, Lurgiston had wing damage. He got front wing damage from the safety car, possibly. On the pit release is the only thing I can think.
That is unfortunate. And Jack King double stacking has not helped him. So he has been sent back down. Skowski has gone into the box, but he's come out on mediums. That might have been an error from him. Rasmussen is stayed out on those softs. He wanted track position, but I don't know if that's going to pay off too well. So he's got Monk behind him. However, these penalties now are really going to hurt the drivers. Monk, 9 seconds. That's going to drop him back down the grid.
Very far down the grid as well.
So at the moment, if Rasmussen can hold on, even if he lets Monk in front of him, he's still looking in a good position to win today's race. But we've got Ula in the Alfa Romeo, is looking racy as well. He's up into P3. I can't quite remember where he qualified, but we'll take a look at the position change. He's up 13 positions. That is really impressive. He started last. So
yes,
this has been a mega drive and a brilliant strategy from the Alfa Romeo driver.
Them 9 seconds of penalties could really hurt any Monk here. He was top 3, but 9 seconds with not many laps to go is going to be an almighty task to do.
Yeah.
Oh, and someone just hit the wall.
Did they? I'll have a scan through the drivers and see if we can see any damage on them. Do you know who it was?
I think it might have been Lurgiston.
Lurgiston, really? Or could that be a bit of
Yeah,
lag, maybe?
desync, possibly desync.
Possibly. We'll hope he hasn't got any damage. Otherwise, that's going to be what was looking like a brilliant race for him turn into a bit of unfortunate luck. Housley wants to have a look at Pens, so I think Monk here is in a bit of an awkward position with 9 seconds. Kiziulhau, the season 3 championship tier 2 winner, he's managed to recover his race and has got back into the points. He's in P9. Unfortunately, Simon Sander still hasn't had the best time in the pits, nor has Jack King. He's down in P8 behind Axel Lergestam. Skowski has made a nice recovery, but he is on mediums, so he's going to be really under threat from those fresh soft runners behind. Yeah, that 9 seconds is really going to hurt him. Oh, we've gone into broadcast again. Brilliant.
If someone has damage, they will just pit without any control.
Maybe it does this when the safety car is ending. If
They
it's
shouldn't
coming
be
in.
doing this though, because look, it's put Ula into third. Oh no, that's where
Ula
he was.
he
Not
was
now.
in third. He was in third.
It can cause people just to pit for no reason though.
Yeah. Look,
It is very dodgy.
I think it happens when it's ending. Because look, the safety car's coming in this lap as well.
It shouldn't be doing that though,
It
because it
shouldn't
didn't
be
do it
because it is
in
an
tier one.
immersive, but that is a bit of a weird one. And a brilliant move from Codemasters once again. And we're back. Oh no! Jack King.
What?
5-second penalty.
Yeah, if someone, if it moves them around, so someone may have overtaken someone through the AI, it can just mess it up horribly.
Oh god. Codemasters
It's really something that we need to look into.
back at work.
Codemasters doing
But
amazing.
Rasmussen's got to lead another safety car restart, and he's going to be under threat from Monk. Look how close he is. So he went
Someone didn't get a
early.
good start there.
Went early to get the jump. Let's see. Rasmussen manages to get a nice run through that last corner once again. Manages to maintain the lead. Ula now picks up a 3-second penalty, but he gets past Vlad
Oh,
Rossi.
Monk spun! Monk spun!
Monk spun, and that's placed him down the order, and he's going to be out of the points now. That's dreadful for him.
Yes.
So Rasmussen now leads, still penalty clean. Ula in P2 has now picked up a penalty. That's going to damage his standings. Kist picks up a 3-second penalty. So, as it stands, Vlad Rosu, if he can stick within 3 seconds of Ula, will be promoted into P2. We got Lurgistum and Scouts and Skalski fighting. Lurgistum sets a purple sector 2, even in traffic, which is impressive. Up front, Ula, I think, is going to be wanting to pull away with Rasmussen to try and reduce the impact of that 3-second penalty. Mercedes in the mud, they're out of the points now. They were running in P2 until Monk had an unfortunate spin on that safety car restart. We do have a yellow flag in sector 3. That is Lurgistam. Is he spun?
Ooh.
It is. He was leading this race at a point, and now he's at the back. That is very interesting. We'll stick it on interval. And we've got Rasmussen still in the lead, followed by Ula, Vlad Rosu.
Matalik just ran very wide in turn 1.
And he's got 15 seconds of penalties, so
Penalties are going to be huge here because of this late safety car we've had.
yeah.
Oh, and Uhi, what's Uhi's penalty like? Because he's P2 at the moment, but there is a penalty sitting on him.
It will drop him a position. But Rasmussen seems to be managing that gap quite well. Even on the older softs, I think he's got 2 laps older softs. So maybe towards the end of this race he'll come under a bit of threat.
The safety car might have helped him a lot. And there is Lurgiston has spun again.
That's his race gone from bad to worse.
Humphrey has passed McWilliams for P10. Oh, Sanderstill's in the wall. Sanderstill is in the wall in the
He's beached.
third to last corner. Oh
no, he manages to get it going.
Got it out.
That is that's a shame for him. He was running in the points, wasn't he?
He was running P7 at the time. He's lost his whole front wing though.
Ooh.
And McWilliams has spun alongside Humphrey. It's all kicking off now.
Simon Sanderstill retires. I believe that might have been in the pit lane, however. It was. Ula now is coming back at Rasmussen. Their tyre age. Yeah, Rasmussen's running 2-lap older tyres. So towards these last laps, I think they're going to have a slight pace advantage. And Ula is all over the back of him now. Let's take a look. See if he decides to make a move. Remember, there's no DRS, or is there? There is. He's got the flap open. He's going to try around the outside. He's going to stick with him, but they make contact. He's sent a bit wide onto the curb, and now Vlad Rosu's going to have a go at him as well. Jack King is dropping off the back of this group slightly with a 3-second gap to them. So Rasmussen is now going to be under threat for maybe a double overtake with the use of DRS, but he always manages to get a good exit out of that final corner. Meanwhile, Ula hasn't.
A really good drive.
He's passed him.
Did not get a good. And further
Contact!
King is,
Rosu and Ula are spun each other round.
Oh no!
Collision in the first corner. That is those two down from P2 and P3. Oh no, that is that's really damaging for their race. And Rosu struggling on the grass to get back on the road. He's down into 8th. Gonna come under threat. 9th. Now down into 10th. That is his race gone from bad to worse.
Did Eva get damaged from that as well? It was quite the mighty collision.
It doesn't look like they have, but that has cost them a heap of positions. Matulich now picks up a 3-second penalty. So Rasmussen has got a 3-second gap now. He can cruise home in this last lap and a half.
Signal has snuck his way up from last on the grid up to P5.
That is intriguing. He's managed to keep it clean and without any penalties. Skalski is all over the back of Binder now, so he doesn't have any penalties. If he sticks behind them, then he'll claim P2. He doesn't need to fight them and risk crashing.
No, he doesn't. But the other two will be looking to try and just pull away and try and reduce the amount of losses they will get from their penalty.
They will. We don't know if these penalties will all stand. But as it stands, Jack King will be dropped quite a far way back. And look at Binder on Jack King. He's going to send it
inside.
Round the outside in turn 1, and he gets the move done. But Binder's going to stick with him. Has the DRS. He gets back past. And now Skalski's looking to have a move. The two go almost side by side. Turn 4. Let's see what they can do. Jack King gets a small snap through that fast right-hander. And now Skalski's got a much better exit. Jack King is out of ERS. You can see that flashing light on the back. Binder is now under threat. The two of them are going to go side by side through this fast left-right. Skalski manages to get ahead, and it looks like if he can stick with Binder... Oh no. Jack King might fancy a move again. He doesn't actually have the pace in him. So as it stands, Skalski will get P2. But as we watch Rasmussen come around the final corner, he's led nearly every lap of this race, and he's driven very well. Great consistency. So he comes across the line, and he wins the Tier 2 season opener for Season 4.
And we're about to see what the penalties do to the rest of the grid.
Binder crosses Skalski.
Kiziel.
Kiziel! How?
And Uhi goes up to P6. Monk drops down to P8.
So
Matulik
it's a double podium.
P10.
Double podium for Haas, and Kiziel, who was almost last at the start of this race, has managed to get ahead.
Haas will be thinking this is the Haas plan.
Oh yeah.
It has to be. And I has to stop doing these puns.
Oh my god. Dreadful. But
Lurgiston, last of the lead lap runners, coming around the penultimate corner now.
yeah, I mean it looked up for him for a lot of this race. It was looking good. Um,
Double points for double points for Aston Martin, Mercedes,
and
uh,
Haas.
and Alpha. So we'll be very happy.
Yeah. But I think Rasmussen is probably undoubtedly our driver of the day today. He's driven very, very consistently, and I'm pretty sure he's maintained the lead for most of the laps this race, hasn't he?
Yes, Rasmussen has been consistent the whole race. P1, finishes P1, didn't pick up penalties, drove cleanly. There was a little moment where Lurgiston was in front of him, but
Yeah, he's had a very strong performance this race. So let's hope we can hear Martin. Luke. Oh, we can't hear Luke again. Of course we can't. And Kister Rays with a party of 8. Thank you very much, Kister. It was an unfortunate race today, but I'm sure you'll come back next week stronger. You were running in the points at a moment in time, so if you can continue that up, form up, then I'm sure the points will flood in over the rest of the season. But we will wait for the drivers to start making their way to the interview room. They're starting to make their way in now. We will switch over to the intermission screen for now, while the drivers hop in. And I will try and figure out why we can't hear Luke again. And they are flooding their way in now. So we will switch over to our interviews tab, and let's see if our race winner is along. He is. Let's get our race winner Rasmussen up here. Hello, well done today. That was a commanding drive. Very consistent throughout all of those laps, and managed to fend off from the likes of Lurgiston. Yep.
No, not half a tenth, half a second in front of me. So every time I lined up the overtake, then he would just teleport half a second in front. So
Okay.
that's why I decided to pit early and go for the undercut, which didn't work because the safety car got caught out on lap 20, and yeah, well, then he got in a collision, I think so, with the safety car, which caused him to pit again. And yeah, from there on out, it was just trying to pull a gap onto the Alfa Romeo driver and Ladrosu. I was hoping that the Romeo he would fight a bit with Rosu, so I could manage to make a gap. But again, the straight line speed just wasn't there, and lucky for me, not so much for them. They I think they had a collision on one of the last laps, so I could get away with the win. So yeah, honestly, very good result.
Yeah, no, it was a commanding drive. I think you led
Thank you.
most laps of the race, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. I think
Yeah,
so.
managed to get some good safety car restarts in there as well. Managed to keep your position off the start each time. Um, so yeah, very commanding and well done, and we'll hope to see you. Hope to see you for the next race.
Yeah, thank you very much, mate.
Thank you. And our P2 finisher, is he in here? Do you want to stick your hand up? Was it Skalski, Luke?
It was Skowski.
There they are. Let's see if they want to come up and speak. There they are. Hello.
Hello there. Hello.
Hi. So that was an up and down race. You started P2 on the grid. I think I'm correct in that.
Yes,
Yeah.
I started P2.
And an unfortunate accident, turn one, sent you tumbling down the order, but you recovered very nicely.
Yeah, despite that accident on the first lap and actually in midway of the race, I had one more spin. Despite that, I just hold my nerve and drove to get that P2.
Yeah, though, it was a good drive. You managed to recover because we saw you fighting through the grid. And P2, I'd say, is an excellent recovery.
Yeah, I think our setup was just a good one because we had so much straight line speed. I just could overtake pretty quickly before the chicane and go out of the DRS range. So I think it helped pretty much.
Yeah, I think this game is really heavily reliant on setups now. So you made the best out of it there, and well done. And we hope to see you for the next race in Miami.
Yeah, thank you.
Excellent.
Good
Thank you.
shit, Skalski.
Alfa Romeo, Tiffy, how are you feeling, Will? You had a
Oh,
double
mate, I'm
points
feeling
finish,
great.
didn't you?
I,
Should I
I'm
move
not
to
gonna lie.
audience?
I'll get Ula up here as well. You double
I'm
points
not gonna lie.
finish.
I was distraught after turn one, lap one.
I can imagine.
But you know, these guys, Ula and Skalski, you know, Ula starting from the back as well, since he had some technical issues in the quali, so he couldn't set a lap. Yeah, to come home P2 and P6, I think it was. Yeah, extremely happy. A great recovery drive from the both of them. So
Yeah, it was a.
Your
Go on.
your head must have been in your hands though when you saw the incidents between Russo and Ula, because that was looking racy and they
oh
both
my
lost it in
god,
turn
yeah.
one.
Yeah, I mean, luckily there was some penalties, I think, and the spacing between the drivers by then it wasn't so bad, but it was still really unlucky. And it's annoying the stream didn't catch it, or what specifically happened anyway. So
The camera angles Codemasters have provided us are amazing at times.
how do you feel like it went, Uli?
May I add something?
So it went something.
I asked if I may add something. I mean, oh god, this race was one big misery. In quali there was total power unit failure, so basically my computer crashed 5 times in a row. But then after we started the session, it was P15. I told Wally that okay, there's still hope. There's easy points for us because I knew I just had the pace. The setup felt really good. I made comfortably 20 laps on those mediums. Safety car and VSC helped a little bit, but still, yeah. And then the disaster on lap 28. I know it's totally my fault. I know I misjudged, and I know I'll probably be penalized. I just hope that judges will have a mal look into it. But because it's totally on me.
Oh yeah,
That's
so
fair enough.
it was all looking up till then. So that was an unfortunate accident, which might have cost you a few points, Will. But I'm sure you're still happy with a double points finish.
Still happy with double points finish. These two lads as well.
Still happy. There you go. Praise from the boss. Always welcome, isn't it? So
Much appreciated. Thanks.
all right. Cheers, boys. And we'll see you next
Alrighty,
week.
thank you.
Cheers. Bye.
See ya.
Right. I think we'll get our P3 finisher up as well. Is Kiziel here? That's Kiziel. There he is. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Kizio. Enjoy that race?
Well, that's when I got spun out and I was last. Yeah, I felt like I'm not gonna enjoy it. But yeah, as always, everybody got plenty of penalties and everybody were crashing out towards the end. And yeah, I knew that's gonna happen. That's why I went for a full what's it called? Full like downforce setup, so I could just avoid getting warnings and get no penalties, and that's how I finished on the podium. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean it didn't look too good for you at the start of the
Yeah, I
race.
think I don't remember who it was, but like somebody
Hope
went into
so.
me and I had front wing damage. Then I got 5 seconds for speeding in the pit lane because of the front wing damage. I just had to brake early and I didn't, so that's why I got it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean it was a good recovery. You got yourself on the podium. So Max, I'm sure you're happy with a 1 and
Yeah, I'm
3.
very happy.
Very
One and
happy.
it could have been 1 and 2, but the straight line speed lacked at the end, sadly.
Yeah,
Uh,
and no
Kishal,
ERS
one
levels.
question.
Yeah.
Did you save the race replay?
Mm,
You could report Kosa for that. I don't know what happened, but I have where Kista rear-ended you at least, so
yeah.
something to report. I don't know about the Kosev one though. I don't know if I've got that anywhere, but yeah.
Well, I'm not gonna report anyone. I got P3, so.
Content.
In the end, I just want to say that Kista should watch out in blue flags conditions because this is the second time he doesn't like get out of the way. He just gets out of the way for a second and then he like expects the person that he just let pass to give him space so he can just get into a slipstream after the corner. So yeah.
Bit of a
Controversy.
tension in there. But no, that was a good race from Haas, and I'm sure you're all very happy. So congratulations, and we'll see you at Miami, where I'm sure you'll hope to keep up this form.
We're going to Stickers out.
Are you
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
commentate in Miami, Jolly?
Unlikely.
When are you gonna commentate for me?
I don't
Kishal,
know.
I swear you're missing it, aren't you?
Okay. We'll see you in a bit.
Yeah, see it.
Bye, Jolly.
Bye. All right. We'll open the floor up to anyone else who wants to come up. Just stick your hands up. No one? Very shy? Oh, Binder would like to pop up.
Hello.
Hello there. Yeah,
Uh,
enjoy that race. Remind us of where did you finish in the end?
I finished fourth in the end.
Oh, okay.
It was very interesting for me because on lap 1 I lost my front wing
Oh, okay.
and yeah, had to pit was at the back and the harder tires. I got very lucky with the late safety car, so I could change to the soft tires with no problem.
Oh, okay. So the safety cars have been beneficial for a few drivers this race. We've heard. So I mean, you managed to recover from a broken front wing to P4, so I'm sure you're very happy with that.
Yeah, for the most part, yes, but it could have been a podium. This penalty was so unnecessary. I just braked a little bit too late in one corner and yeah, got the penalty for it.
Oh, okay. So that's a bit unfortunate.
It's a P4. It's good for me considering the start of the race, but it could have been P2, so it's a bit of a sour taste.
Yeah, but I'm sure if with the pace you showed today, I'm sure next week or next race you'll be able to get somewhere even further up the grid without any issues.
Yeah, I hope so. I will practice for it and we'll see.
Okay, yeah, that sounds good, and we'll look forward to seeing your performance next Sunday. All right,
Yeah,
thank
you
you.
will. Thank you very much.
In a bit. All right, I'll open it up to anyone else. I think Matadich managed to sneak up there quickly. There we go.
Hello.
Hi,
Hello.
go on, Luke. It's yours.
So how did you feel that race went for you today?
I mean, like it went good because I'm still a rookie though. It was my first race here in Amethyst. I mean, it was fine. I like how people are actually can be clean. I had some close calls, like when Kaloyan spun on in turn 15. I had to go to the gravel. Like I could have DNF there, but luckily not. Unfortunately I got 9-second penalty for just going wide in one corner, which we are gonna report to the stewards and hopefully get rid of this. Yeah, and if that penalty is removed, we should be P10 because yeah.
Okay, so still hoping to claw back some points.
Yeah.
Okay, excellent. But I mean, other than that, you had good pace over the race, didn't you?
Decent, yeah.
Decent, yeah. The penalties were a shame as well, but I'm sure you'll be in the top battles next race.
Not next. Imola. Miami,
Imola.
unfortunately not. Yeah.
Okay, another Imola merchant, Connor Ratcliffe. Connor Ratcliffe. All right then. Thanks, and we'll see you in a bit.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
All right, and we'll get Alfred Monk up here. Hello. That
Hello.
race was looking good for you until an unfortunate safety car restart.
Yeah, the broadcast safety car caused me to. My tires were 6 degrees when we got back, so I just
Yeah,
had no grip
we
and
weren't
spun.
we weren't too sure what was going on with that. It was on immersive, and then it kept switching us to broadcast. So
Yeah,
bit of a shame. But other than that, you did show some very good pace over the race. I think
yeah.
maybe accumulated a couple of penalties.
I got 5 warnings in one corner left too.
Oh, okay. So
Somehow.
a couple of glitches playing into that then. But
Yeah,
Getting them
I
overturned.
also my whole first stint I had a wing damage on the right side because Sanders still brake checked me on the virtual safety car. So I had wing damage the whole first stint on mediums,
oh,
and
okay.
then I
So I mean,
repaired on the pits.
even with the damage, you managed to hold on to the leaders quite well, if I remember correctly. So it was a commanding
Yeah,
performance from you today. And I'm sure without wing damage and without a couple of silly game glitches that Codemasters will hopefully iron out, I'm sure you'll be able to make some more moves in time for Abu Dhabi
yeah,
or Imola, Miami, sorry. Brain.
Miami.
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I'm pretty happy with my recovery after the spin because I was like last except for Kisser who was a lap behind, but I managed to get up to P6 by the checkered flag.
Oh wow.
And if I just get 2 of those penalties removed, I'm gonna finish there.
Oh okay.
I'm gonna finish P6.
Yeah. So we'll look forward to your to your finish.
Yeah.
All right. Cheers, and we'll see you in a bit. If anyone else wants to come up, we'll wrap it up there. Don't see anyone, so we'll call it a day there. Thank you for coming up today with me, Martin. And
Been a pleasure. Been a pleasure.
we'll see you all again on Wednesday night at 7 o'clock for our first ever Tier 3 race. And until then, we'll see you.